Today's interview is with Dietrich Covington. Dietrich's had a very interesting investing career. He's done a lot. He started investing in duplexes in Florida, and then expanded into buying businesses, tanning salons, a liquor store, and amongst a few other things. But unfortunately, 2008, 2009 came along and kind of wiped that all out, and he talks quite candidly about that time. But then he's rebuilt, and I think that's the amazing thing about him and the story that he has about that rebuilding he's done and how he's managed to create success for himself and the tactics that he's used. So really, really fascinating interviews today. Make sure you stick around for all of that. As always, like and subscribe on Wrestling with Real Estate, the YouTube channel. Go to the WWRE Podcast and give me a 5-star rating and write me a review. It really does help me build this platform and continue to bring you guys great content. And if you're interested in real estate, in whatever aspect that is, I'd love to have a conversation with you, see if there's any way whatsoever I can help you. So go to the link in the description down below, or go to wrestlingwithrealestate.com and sign up there. But before that, stick around for today's amazing interview with Dietrich Covington. Hello and welcome to Wrestling with Real Estate, where we look to chokeslam all your real estate problems. I'm your host, former WWE wrestler and now Cirque du Soleil performer, and of course, multifamily real estate investor, Barri Griffiths. Now today we're joined by Dietrich Covington. Hey, Dietrich.
Hey, how we doing, man?
I'm doing awesome, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I cannot complain. Thank you.
Awesome. Good to hear that. So I'm excited to have you on, man. I'm very happy that we were able to make time and figure this thing out and have you on the call. And I'm excited to jump into conversations. A lot of we were talking beforehand. There's a lot of interesting stuff that we're going to dive into today. I'm excited about it, man. It's not your average story, right? What you've got going on. So I'm excited about that. So, but before that, do you want to give us an idea about your background, what you've been up to, and what your current focus is?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Or from Orlando, Florida. Got a wife and a 12-year-old son. And my focus right now is multifamily, of course. It's where it's headed. Our main focus is off-market kind of pocket listings between duplexes and 20 units. We don't. It's just my wife and I. We don't try to get in over our head right now. We're going to be, we self-manage, and so that's that's kind of where we're at with this. That's the focus.
Yeah. But outside of that, right? Tell us. You were telling me beforehand about.
Absolutely. Okay, well, the real job. Here we go. The real job is I'm a production manager for a network in the United States, and I run 5 of their production companies, and I do productions all over the United States for them, and won a few Emmys. Got a handful of Emmys for those things. But my background is I've worked for ESPN for 12 years. I did anything and everything from them, from running camera, holding the cable, started from the ground up. And then I moved into the concert world. I worked for a local concert company. We put out the Smashing Pumpkin Oceanic Tour. Yeah. That was a great one to do. A lot of, Charlotte Church, Fall Out Boys, Skrillex. That was, and then it was time to slow down and get a real job. So I got this job at the TV station, man. And so it's been a wild ride, and building passively, and kind of getting this real estate thing going the whole time. So
how did you get into that business? What kind of led you to that? Was it just something you didn't know? Was it
TV was it fell in my lap. It was one of the craziest things in the world. I was kind of wandering around at 27 years old in my life, and got a job at a television station in Tallahassee, Florida. Something that doesn't happen anymore because they used to have a thing in there called master control, and it's not a really part of a television station anymore. But I knew I didn't want to sit there, so I asked the guy to teach me how to run the satellite truck. And what happened there is I learned how to run the satellite truck, and I parked it up next to a ESPN truck at Doak Campbell Stadium at the FSU game. And I started talking to those guys. And that's a long story short, is I found out how much those guys made compared to what I was making sitting inside a TV station. And I was like, I got to get out of here. So really, that's how the television gig started. I needed a job, and I knew I wasn't going to stay there long.
Yeah. So, and you said now you do production. What does that mean?
So essentially, I'm in charge of what the TV station looks like. I'm in charge of everybody that pushes the buttons, the directors, the audio editors. I'm in charge of the final product, what comes on air. I have zero control of what was written or what the talent says. My goal and my for the job is to make sure that the colors are balanced and everything looks good and production value is at the highest it can be. I like lighting. You probably can't tell by this little stark office I'm sitting in, but I'm a big fan of concert and theater and studio lighting. So it's been kind of my, once I got into the theatrical stuff with the theater, the concerts and stuff, it kind of just took off from there. But yeah. No.
Do you do any live TV, or is it all pre-recorded?
It's all live TV. It's 24-hour news. It's 24-hour news. It's your it's all live. It's we did the Wounded Warrior games over in Tampa last year. Those were all live. We did that. We do a lot of live TV. It's
high stress. Is it stressful?
Are
you used to it?
Listen, when 30 seconds is not 30 seconds anymore to me. I'll say that. I mean, when you're in the TV business, everybody's like, oh, it's just 30 seconds. No, 30 seconds is a long time. It's just all perspective. I enjoy the live aspect of it. Do I get nervous about it anymore? No. Do I enjoy the energy that comes from it? Absolutely. When you're running a crew of 40, 30, 40, 50, 60 people, and you're about to go live, you're about to throw the switch and the concert's about to turn on and all the lights are about to go, something shoots through you. I mean, you get a little bit of that charge that comes right through you, and it's go time. When you're, it's the same thing as shooting I did the NCAA softball tournament in Gainesville one year, and it's the same thing. First pitch, everybody's getting to go. Announcer's about to go live on ESPN, and that first hit, it's just an interesting industry, and what me is just like real estate, everything's different.
Yeah.
It's an every day I go into work not knowing what's going to happen. Are we going to have 100 press conferences? Are we going to war with somebody? I don't know. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
But no, it's good times.
But you also said this was off air that when you were talking about your son, that you had hair salons and tanning salons as well?
Yeah. So here's the scoop. Like when I first, in Tallahassee, we lived in Tallahassee for 8 years. It was a fun ride. I thought, it's been a bumpy road, so I thought I could buy the town. I started buying up duplexes, bought a liquor store, bought some commercial property, bought the liquor license with the liquor store. So I thought I could run a liquor store also. And then tanning salons all up next to FSU. So, I mean, we were doing our thing, and we were young. We weren't 100% sure what we were doing. We knew they were printing money for houses back then. This was before 2008. I mean, we're talking 2005 you know what I mean? So, we were getting everything, pretty much 100% financing. And once you get relationships, and that's, kind of where I stand on it, you get relationships, people will start just handing things to you. So yeah, we just acquired it all. And I was still working for ESPN at the time, kind of still doing the production stuff. My wife was running the tanning salons and handling that business. We thought we could kind of handle the liquor store remotely and kind of, it's a liquor store, just run itself, right? No, not even remotely. It ended up crashing and burning. Once 2008 came rolling around, because we were doing pretty well. Everything was good. We were acquiring a bunch of doors. Everything was pretty solid. I was making more not passively through my businesses than I was freelancing. But once the commercial real estate hit, once 08 it was really 07. I mean, people say 08, but you started feeling it in 07. Lending got tightened up, and I mean, let's be clear, I was young and I was over leveraged. I mean, I was getting 100% financing on things. We had to file bankruptcy. It got out of hand. I mean, because once again, you're running a $750,000 liquor store, trying to do it hands off remotely, and it just didn't work out. I mean, before I knew it, I was getting, it was a handful, so we ended up filing bankruptcy, and so, yeah, I mean, we're building back just as strong as we ever have. I know differently than buying businesses at this point. And not being so hands.
So is that because where we are in the cycle, or just buying businesses in general after what you were?
But no, it's where I am in the cycle, to be honest with you. I'm a firm believer now of just passive income. I mean, I'm not leaving my day job at any point now. They pay me well. I'm well respected. I keep winning Emmys, and I keep, so things are good. I mean, I enjoy it, but I'm 45 now. I say this now, we have a goal to 2 years, and we're going to be passively taken care of, and everything should be right where we need it to be. He'll be a little bit older. Our son will be a little bit older and won't need us around so much. You know what I mean? So I think we'll be in a really good spot. But so that's the goal, 2022.
So in all of this, obviously, I would say you definitely have that entrepreneurial mindset, right? It's definitely like in you, right? So, from owning all these businesses to working your way up in different TV corporations, right? And to being where you are now, and to investing in real estate. When and where did real estate come into all of this, though?
It came in at, I bought my first one in 2004. I bought my first duplex. It was a Carlton Sheets, no money down. I saw it on TV ad, and I didn't buy the course. I mean, I was like, I could probably figure this out myself. And like I said earlier, I just started building relationships, talking to bankers, talking to real estate agents, talking to people, and I found somebody that was like, well, this guy will give you 100% for what you're looking for. I mean, it cash flows. I mean, it was a duplex that I got for 120 that was bringing in $1,600 a month. And I was like, okay, that makes sense, and the guy was like, absolutely. And he's like, if you have any more, come back. And I'm like, okay.
But you said the no money down thing came from the financing you got, or you did something with a seller?
No, he was giving out 100% financing.
Okay.
No, it was, I haven't gotten into creative financing until later on, until I actually lost all my money and lost everything, went belly up, bankrupt, moved out of Tallahassee and kind of started afresh, but moved to Orlando and kind of was ready to kind of, I took a job in Orlando is what I did once we sold all that stuff and got rid of that stuff and cleared everything up in Tallahassee. We moved to Orlando, but sorry, that was a little tangent. What was
So that first property, why was he giving 100% financing? Was there some issues with the property, or it was just
no? It was just that happening. It was just what was happening. Like I bought my primary house with no money down back then in Tallahassee. It was just, you can find financing that way. I don't think it was anything special. I mean, I had decent credit. I had never bought anything before, and but it was just a broker that was offering 100% financing. It definitely different times back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was in 2004, 2005. And then when I acquired some cash and got some really good cash flow going, that's when I bought the liquor store. I got the liquor store in like 2006. And then we started buying all the, the other stuff. 2007 was the salons, and, but it all came crashing down pretty quick if you don't keep an eye on things. I mean, it's definitely I credit where I'm at now for it, though. I'll tell you that. I mean, it's an eye opener.
Yeah, sorry that happened to you, man. But yeah, it's kind of so. But I think it happened, unfortunately, to a lot of people at that time, right? It was just so much going on.
You turn around, and then, you know, not only was my liquor store being mismanaged and poorly run, I mean, I'd never run a convenience store, let alone a liquor store, ever in my life. You know, I mean, I have zero retail experience. Yeah. It just sounded like I mean, I was making cash flow from these properties. It sounded like another great investment. Who could go wrong not owning a liquor license, right? I don't even drink. You know what I mean? So it was like, but so, you know, I mean, it was the learning curve is amazing. Let's just listen. Life will put you right where you need to be, and it's put me right where I need to be, and we're in a good spot. The wife and I have, you know, we have focal point investments here down in Orlando, and, you know, we're really building some big things and looking to do some things in the Southeast. And like I said, in 2.5 years, you know, we're looking at some very nice passive income. So
yeah. Well, after all that happened, like you said, after everything came crashing down, and sort of you had to regather yourself, right? Like,
absolutely. I tucked my tail between my legs and got a job in Orlando, making that touring house that I talked to you about. I showed up there as the assistant operations manager. I left there running the place.
Right.
It's just that work ethic. You know, I once again, I knew where I was, and I knew I wasn't going to stay there. So, and by the time I left, I tripled my salary, and was like, all right. But the kicker was, and the reason why I left was, he's got places all over the country. He's got a place in Vegas, actually. You actually probably see it when you fly in. If you look down, his name's written right on the top of the building. I'm not going to tell you the building, but it's a big blue sign on top of the building. If you next time you look into Vegas, look down. But anyway, he's got a super nice recording studio, super nice studios and everything out there. And I was a month there, month back. He let the guy go out in Vegas. And was like, you're doing such a great job here. Why don't you, he owned condos out there. He owned, you know, some cars. And he's like, just stay in the condo, have a car, you know, just help me out there. And it was fine for a while, but it wasn't meeting my personal goals. Like I had a kid. I wanted to be around more. So it wasn't aligning with where my life was at that point. And to be honest with you, that bankruptcy absolutely got everything in line for me. So, you know, I knew working there for 4 years, that it was just like, you know, I knew where I wanted to go, and this wasn't heading in the right direction. I could see more time away. I could see more, you know, and that just wasn't what I was doing anymore.
Yeah. But I obviously you went through some tough times, right? Like some rough stuff, right? Everything, like you said, come crashing down. Right? Yeah. Great money, and you think, okay, this is kind of, you know, everything's going great, and then everything comes crashing down, right? You know, a lot of people, and I'm sure it was tough for you, but I like your attitude, man. Like you said, it put me exactly where I need to be, right? It would be easy for you to be like, oh, if only, but whatever, right? But you to be like, hey, I'm in a great spot now. Everything has worked out for me for a reason, right? I'm here now for a reason, and I love that attitude.
Listen, it's a slap in the knee, the regions, man, for sure. I mean, it'll absolutely, you know, put you down, and but you know, there's only one way to look at it.
Yeah.
It's a learning experience.
And only one way to go, really, from there, right? And that's upwards, right? From there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. So when did you start reinvesting in real estate again? Like, because did you get put off by real estate at that point? Because you said you either lost or had to sell your stuff and whatever. Did that put you off?
What it did is make me. So what was happening before? It was a grab bag. I was just grabbing anything and everything, going just bananas. Oh, I just need to start acquiring things. And what it did for us was, it lowered it dialed us in to our exact niche of what exactly we want. do I want a duplex? Do I want single family? Do I want a little quad? Do I want, I mean, like before it was everything. I'll take a garden rise apartment. Sure. I'll take a duplex. Oh, you got a single family over there? Yeah, well, I'll take care of it all. And since we're going to be, since we self-manage, like it has to be very, I mean, our buy box is very tiny. We don't look at, if it doesn't even remotely look in our buy box, we don't have time for it. I mean, I got a full-time job. She's a full-time mom. It's just, like if it doesn't hit our criteria. And so we're very focused in on mom and pops, pocket listings. I don't need to, I mean, nothing against wholesale people. I've wholesaled a house or two in my day. It's just not, I'd rather not deal with, you need $3,000 down, to come, to secure the thing. I'm not really into playing that back and forth. So the way we got back into it was just really honing in our niche and just talk. I mean, most of it, well, I'd say about 90% of it now has been creative financing. I mean, once again, we lost everything. We lost a lot. So when we had to get back in, hitting the bank at 20% was not an option for us. But that wasn't going to stop us either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you can't let that, like that kind of, like, that's what I hear all the time, right? Like, I don't have money to invest in real estate. Okay. Neither does millions of people, but it doesn't, or maybe not millions of people, but thousands of people for sure, right? That are doing it every single day. So it's just, I love that you guys were willing to find a way. But you said pocket listing. So to me, a pocket listing means that something a real estate agent has that hasn't listed yet. But what does a pocket listing mean to you?
No, that's exactly what it means. We've got some real estate agents that are always on the kind of lookout for us. We got a nice little group of ours, and then I use it more broad term, but what the pocket listing term is, yes, absolutely, it's a real estate agent that is getting rid of marketing things that are off market. But yeah, no, I mean, so we have I talked to some agents in Atlanta. I'm trying to build relationships in Alabama at this point. Orlando, we're handling Orlando pretty good. I think it's getting a little saturated. Florida's, it's going bananas, man. We haven't bought anything in like 3 months, and it's just because, like, pull the brakes or the reins. Once again, we're extremely conservative people when it comes to, and we're just not going to jump out there in the fray and see what happens. It's just not our style. I'm sure there's deals out there right now in Orlando, and the I-4 corridor between Daytona and Tampa is really what we look for. You know what I mean? We get a little bit closer to Jacksonville. Jacksonville's a little bit, I like to drive there, of course. We're going to start venturing out right now. And I'm a big fan of right now of North Carolina. I've been doing a lot of research on North Carolina, Alabama. Like I said, I got some real estate agents that are looking for in Georgia, Augusta, Columbus, Albany. Our goal for 2021 is another 200 doors. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. So there's a few things. For one, so the reason I was asking about the pocket listing is, right, you mentioned creative financing, right? A lot of times with creative financing, people would assume that it means going direct to seller, right? You're dealing directly with the seller. But I'm guessing if you guys are going through agents, you guys are finding it different ways. How are you guys working these things?
Yeah. So well, I mean, let's be clear. If they want to if they want to get in the deal with us, let's go. I mean, I have friends that are agents that will, that are quote unquote pocket listings, and we'll go in with them. We've got a quad down over here that the agent was just like, I'm paying him monthly. He's part of the deal. He's not on the deed, but he's getting a little cut every month, It's really about relationships. I mean, I'm not going to say this. too loudly. I think you can convince anybody to do punch anything if it's legit and it's an honest, just talk to the people. I mean, I'll throw out the craziest ideas and see if they stick. Like, listen, man, I have no money down. Granted, like some of them, they'll, you pay their commission, $5,000, $10,000, you know what I mean? Cash. And we've done that. And I don't want you to think that, and I'm not arrogant enough to sit here on this podcast and be like, oh, well, it's all creative and you don't have to put any money down. Yeah. There's money, you're outputting money, appraisals, inspection. I mean, like no money down is kind of a myth when it comes to, when I say no money down, I'm talking about going to a bank and actually handing them 20%. I'm not doing that. But I'll pay off, we can pay people finder's fees and all kinds of things. I mean, there's other ways to do things to get people that will lose their interest in a piece of property. Yeah. So it's, in my view, in my experience, it's just talking to them. They're going to say no or yes. To be at the end of the day, but the key is getting to that person is what, and that's been lately for me has been the hardest part. Is now everybody's so tight, everybody knows they can get top dollar, so you actually can't get to the real seller. Like everybody, you understand what I'm getting at there? Yeah. So it's, you can't get to the actual person that owns the property is what you mean, right? Right. Like a year ago, you could stroll up to, a brokerage, or I've got a bunch of friends here that just, hey, you got anything coming out? Oh yeah, maybe this, and we could work together kind of like, and then, but now it's their brokerages are really tightening up because everybody, so they're working through agents is getting a little bit tricky. And I think it's just the market cycle. As far as, everybody's trying to make sure they're getting their cut of the pie. Back when things were, last year was fantastic. I don't know what 2019 was a great year. We did great numbers all across the board. But, now that this COVID thing and everything, and then the frenzy, the Florida frenzy is what we're calling it down here. It's a bit, like I said, I kind of try to stay out of it. Yeah. But just to give us an idea, right? So how do you structure these? So are you doing it through the real estate agent financing it for you? Is the real estate agent the owner of the property? Is it you getting to? No, okay. So okay. Run us through like how you maybe a typical deal if you can, if you don't mind, just so that because this is cool, right? This is the stuff that. No, absolutely. Well, the first and foremost, what you got to do is you got to get talking to people. There's no texting. There's no phone calls. You have to go meet people and talk to people. And the way the last quad I was just talking about, all it went down was super easy. This guy brought it. So he's a real estate agent, but he's also a property manager. They kind of he was also the property manager for this place, and they had a tenant that was like one of the hard times, wasn't paying, landlord had given up, frustrated. It needed a little work. I mean, it was a classic example of what is going on these days. And he goes, I don't know if she's willing to do anything, but I can introduce you to. Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. That's all I needed you to do. Well, yes, he's my friend. Yes, we go to the gym together, but he's not it's a $300,000 quad. He's not handing me that and going, appreciate it, buddy. I'll see you on Friday night. Let's, so, what did he do? He put up 10%, and he's the one that got the hard money loan for us, and we're going in together. But she's holding a note. She's the first. We got the loan for the rehab, and so we rehabbed it up, and then we're going to refinance. We're going to refinance it. We haven't refinanced it yet, but at the first of the year, we're going to look to refinance it once it's stabilized. We got to get one more tenant in there, but beyond that, it's really about it. I mean, she just held the note. She was getting paid her month. She was getting the rents, pay the rent. You know what I mean? And then she held the note until we can get out of it. She's been super cool the whole time. I mean, it's been an atypical experience, I would say, but it's because she was willing just to have us control the property for 4 months, rehab that one unit, and then she just collects the rent. I didn't, I mean, just you collect the rent, sign it over to us, right? We'll fix this property up. In January, we're going to go refinance this thing. It should be back on, we're appraised at 500. We put about 30 into it. So we're into it for 335. Refinance, leave 80% into it, pay off the loan, and pay off the hard money guy for the construction loan. I mean,
Yeah.
I have no money into this property at this point.
Yeah. That's cool.
So,
and then, so as the owner on this one, she's not getting any monthly payments, right? Her monthly payments is the rent's coming in, right? But
correct.
But
right.
So she's still making money. She doesn't have that headache. And do you guys have to manage it for her, or does she still manage it for her?
Well, my buddy's managing it still for her. He was already managing it for her. And the thing about it is, in January, she'll be paid out. She'll get her $300,000.
Mm-hmm.
When we refinance it, she'll get her money. Everybody's paid off. And I'm in it free and clear.
How did that initial? So your friend who's the agent and who's the property manager, he introduced you, right? He gives you her phone number or whatever. How does that initial phone call go with her?
It was. I mean, look, it was. Once again, I'm straightforward. I talk to my grandmother the way I talk to everybody. I'm a big believer in kindness goes a long way. It's just a conversation. Hey, I understand. I'll tell you, Pasco's the realtor's name. Hey, I was just talking to Pasco. He passed along that you might be having a little problem with your property. Is there anything that I can maybe slide in here and help you do? I understand you have a tenant that's kind of, destroying the property and won't leave. What can we do to help you out with it? And it's opening up those lines of communication. And then let's be clear, you just sit back and listen at that point. Mm-hmm. Because if she's interested at all, she'll just keep talking. Or she'll, if she's not, it's a firm, no, I'm cool, I got this, thanks. I don't need you. But so, I mean, it was really straightforward. And what I've learned in post-bankruptcy is less is more. Be genuine, be upfront. Don't sugarcoat them and be like, I got a pile of cash, I'm ready to buy houses. Like, no, I don't have a pile of cash, but I'm willing to help you out. How would you like to work this out? If at all, I can pay you a monthly fee. I can keep your monthly. You can get your monthly residual. Let me handle the issues here, and then I'll buy you out in 4 months. And she was over the moon. Oh, we'll take care of that guy. Don't you worry about that. Yeah. Because, I don't know where you live, but the moratorium is lifted. I mean, it's going to be lifted here in a week.
Okay.
To get, the eviction moratorium.
Yeah. No, here in Vegas, it's been extended till March 31st, but not, yeah.
And in Florida, they've really narrowed it down also. Like the burden of proof is definitely flipped to the tenant. So, I mean, we're cool. I mean, if he wants to kind of make some payments, or it's not a heartless, and we do manage it ourselves. So it's not like we're gonna, just go in there and start slapping eviction stickers on doors. But he's gonna have to do something.
Yeah. No, it's only what's right.
Right.
Yeah, that's a cool deal, though. I love how you guys structured that. Like, I always enjoy hearing how people structure stuff creatively. Like, because the cool thing about real estate is, like, ultimately there's nothing that you can't do, right? There's like,
right.
You're only limited by your imagination. That's the only limits you have in terms of what you can do, right?
Listen, and I don't normally plug people, but he was on this podcast. His name's Todd. I don't know his last name.
Todd Paltz.
Bottom to the top.
Yeah, Todd. Yeah, Todd's awesome.
If you want to understand, like, that dude when the way he does his owner finance, I don't know what he does up there, to be honest with you, but follow his Instagram. It'll light a fire underneath. It'll show you that anything's possible, man. I have an Instagram, and I'm horrible at it because social media is not really my big strong point. But he's a good follow, though.
Yeah,
he's a good follow.
Yeah, no, Todd's a good guy. He's my friend. He's just from interviewing him. He's a smart guy. But like you guys are doing awesome yourself. What does your portfolio look like at this point? How many doors do you get? 40
doors.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, 40 doors. We're averaging about 200. I have my cheat sheet over here. We're averaging a little over 200 per door at this point.
Awesome.
Everything, and it's knock on wood, we're at about 88% collection.
Mm-hmm.
So the goal is 300 doors total. So, and then we're gonna, hopefully buy a lake house somewhere and just chill.
Peace out, yeah. Mexico somewhere.
But yeah, no, I'd say that tongue in cheek, but I love the business. So
yeah. Well, but have you got to about 40 doors now using kind of similar strategies, similar creative strategies, or?
Well, the majority of those have been joint ventures.
Okay.
I mean, like we've already gone over. I was not made of money. I don't have a bank account that's just absolutely gorged with money, and I work a full-time job, and I've got a kid, so life is expensive. So I don't have the 20% just to keep rolling and rolling. Now, what we have done, the same gentleman that I referenced to earlier and I have done a few burrs on some duplexes. So we've been able to rotate money and get 5 duplexes with the same capital.
Yeah.
And it's a strategy that, I mean, listen, it's essentially what I just rattled off about the quad also, but if people don't know what the burr strategy is, they really need to go out there and look at it, because if you have a little cash, $10,000, $15,000, and you can get a little $100,000 house and just keep it rotating through, you can build pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, it is, especially when you utilize like either private money or hard money as well. You know what I mean? You can kind of get not only get financing for the property, for the purchase, but for the rehab as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, now the big thing is you have to really understand your numbers, right? You have to be super conservative. Like, yes. Really, last thing you want is for renovation budget to run way over and for the ARV to be way lower than you, right? So then you're
right. Well, yeah, and that was one of the reasons why we slowed down right now, because the numbers, everything's going up. The price of lumber, I don't know if you've done a rehab lately or if you've even looked at the price of lumber is bananas, even right now. So that's why we kind of just pump the brakes a little bit. But yeah, it's a great strategy.
Yeah, that's so cool. But now as you're going out, like that's the next thing. So you're venturing out to different markets, right? Do you just strictly own in Orlando currently, or do you actually own in different markets yet?
No, just Orlando.
Okay.
2021 is going to be the Southeast. We're not, and I'm not going to sit here and we're not taking over anything. We're going to go in there and strategically handpick these little small apartment complexes, no more than 25. I like them in urban areas.
Okay.
BC class. I love manufacturing close by. That's why Alabama is really appealing to me, because of the auto industry that's going into Alabama. I find that very intriguing. I also like port cities. That's why I like Georgia, St. Augustine. Augusta. I like, and then Savannah. I like that whole kind of like horseshoe there. So yeah, no, I mean, it's all about building relationships. I've been to it. I've been to Augusta. I've been to Savannah. I've been to Columbus. I have relationships there. I'm going to North Carolina next week to meet up with some people to kind of just lay the groundwork and see what's available. I'm also going skiing while I'm up there, but I'm going to meet some brokerages. I'm going to meet a property management company, because at the end of the day, we have a very strict formula that we follow, and I have to find a company that will, quote unquote, fall in line and do do that for me.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're very conservative. We're not willy-nilly about anything at this point. We were years ago, but right now it's, if you can do this for us, we're good to go. And it's like I said, it's a very small buy box, and it's also a very small, very tight restrictions on property management. I mean, we're nice people, but
Yeah.
you're 1,000 miles away. So let's keep a tight ship.
Yeah. You mentioned in your buy category, you're looking for urban areas, right?
I know. I'm not really,
because there seems to be a migration actually to the suburbs right now, right? More out, an out migration. What is it about the urban areas that you like? Because you think there's opportunity, or because?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think there's opportunity. I think that people there. I think they're one. To be honest with you, I think they're getting crushed right now. I think if any of the urban areas or rural, urban, or whichever one is getting crushed, I believe the urban small mom and pop apartment complexes or pocket listings, little small units, are. I have no anecdotal. I don't have any like statistics to back this up, but from what I've read and what I've kind of like, my intuition is that's where the deals are going to be, because I think they're going to give up quicker and just be like, I'm out. It's been a good ride. We've owned this thing for 15 years. This COVID thing doesn't seem to go away. I don't know what the future holds right now. We've made our whatever it is. Let's move on. Oh, and by the way, you'll give us a cut every month. Yeah. Can you hold the note for me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think there's opportunities out there like that.
Yeah.
But once again, they're small, very niche, not because the institutional buyers are the ones, they're out there buying, 100, 120 units, 80 to 120 units, like they're left, right, and crazy right now for 60, 70, 80 million dollars. So I can't even I'm not even wanting to play with those guys. So keep it under 25 and we're good to go.
But and then you also mentioned port cities. Why do you like port cities?
Well, I do a little research. They just the widening of the Panama Canal a few years ago has really opened up Jacksonville. It's really opened up Savannah, and it's really opened up Charleston. And then right out of Savannah, go through Augusta, and then you're going to Tennessee. I mean, it's just like a thoroughfare kind of. So, for instance, Amazon's building all these warehouses around, right? Well, they just put one smack dab in the middle of Orlando and Tampa. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of square feet. Well, what did they put that there? Probably a year ago. Well, now the development around it is bananas. The Winter Haven and Lakeland area is the development around it is going crazy. So my strategy is, well, if the ports are opening up, well, they're going to have to build distribution centers around that to get things from point A to point B. So if the shipping lanes open up, as I've been reading that they're going to start doing more of, then keeping close to that kind of horseshoe, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia area might be a good play.
Yeah, that's so interesting. That's what, that's so important, I think, right, to pay attention to trends, right? Because trends affect migration patterns, affects population, affects job growth, and these are the things that bring people there. And if you have a market where there's a ton of people moving, and if you have an apartment complex in that area, guess what? You're going to do pretty well, right? You're going to have rising rents, you're going to have rising prices, you're going to...
Yeah, and especially when you keep it in that BC class. I mean, you're going after that everyday worker.
Yeah.
The blue collar job.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's interesting. As you go out to different states as well, so obviously where you are, it's easy to create a relationship, right? Because people, getting pocket listings, right, off-market deals isn't easy, right? I'm sure, it's not like a case of you call an agent, hey, you got any pocket listing? Oh, yeah, I've got 5, right? It's not that. You've got to build that relationship. So when they come, when they become available and they find them, you're one of the first people that they think of. But and I'm sure in your market, you're able to meet these people, you've closed deals on them, and at this point, you have that credibility. When you, excuse me, when you go to other markets, how are you building that credibility? Because they're not just going to give it to anyone, right? They have maybe 100 other people that are, I don't know, I'm exaggerating, but at least 10 other people, I'm sure, that are interested. How are you making sure that you're one of the people that they call first?
Well, I kind of cheated. I'm born and raised in Georgia.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I went to Georgia first.
Okay.
I've got a strong in. My younger brother is actually a real estate agent in Atlanta. We'll leave that, you know. But as far as, so when I go next week, it once again, and I know this is going to sound cheesy, corny, maybe, I don't know. I go in with just genuine as I can be. Listen, I'm a guy. I'm not a massive corporation. If you have anybody that's willing to want to get rid of something, I can close quickly. We no hassle, no fuss. I'm not going to come here and haggle you. You know, if the numbers make sense, well, I'm happy to work with you. You know, and then what is the game all about? The follow up.
Yeah.
It's all about the follow-up. I mean, you can't just scroll in there and be like, hey, I'm here for a day. Let's go hang out and eat some coffee, you know, eat something and drink some coffee. And, oh, by the way, I'm going to hit the slopes. But, hey, send me all your listings when I leave, right? That would never work. So it's contacting them when you leave. I mean, this is my strategy. Again, I'm going up there for the cold next week. I mean, I'm sorry, not next week, the week after. But yeah, oh, shit. It is Christmas week, isn't it? Sorry, I didn't mean to date the show if I did by accident.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, so the first week of January. So when I'm up there, it's touch and base, and then it's being as genuine as you can and being upfront and not playing the game. Because what I find is people come in there, they try to act like they're something that they're not, and it kind of turns people off. And it kind of be like, well, there's just another fly-by-night real estate guy. All right, look at this. You know, I mean, I'm a very humble guy. So I don't roll in there. I don't wear fancy watches, and, you know, I drive a Jeep, you know, you know, and so it's just being personable, but then the follow-up, it's hey, I really appreciate you taking the time, you know, listen, I'm really serious. And then it's 2 weeks later, hey, just touching base, bro. You know, I don't want to be a pester, but if you got anything, let me know. You know, and hopefully you can kindle something, and you actually have something. If you really want to get them hooked, you got to figure out what they really, you know, personal, what they like. Like, you know, you like to go play golf. Here's a round of golf, or here, you know, I hate golf, but if, you know, whatever it is, you know, you got to get to know the person, and you have to put yourself out there. I think that's the thing that most people don't do enough is just be open. Be an open book with people. Like, if people don't know you're buying houses, how are they going to send you houses? Like, if they don't know you're looking for pocket listings or looking for off-market deals, if you're not going to tell them, how are they going to know? So, I mean, no, I'm not the guy that wears the shirt, I buy houses. I'm not, you know what I mean? I don't have the car that's my Jeep's not wrapped with I buy houses or anything, but you'll be damned if I'm not out there, out on a show site, or if I'm on the road, I'm doing something. Hey, let me know if you got anything. You know what I mean? I buy hardly anything that people send me because people don't understand.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're just, well, here's a house for $300,000. Yeah, I know, it's worth $250. No, it's really, it's about worth $250.
Yeah.
But
I love, yeah, like you said, you tell people that you're interested in buying properties, and they'll send you a property like on the MLS that's, like you said, like that's full price, right? That's like no distress, no, like, yeah, I'm selling my primary residence, like
right.
Something you're interested in.
No. So I mean, but I mean, listen, you have 1,000 houses and you get 5.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, I mean, you're just sifting through it, and once again, it's getting your numbers down, getting your systems down, get your little buy box ready to go, and you can. At this point, her and I could just look at a property and pretty much go, you know, I would probably hit the mark. Look at the zip code. You know.
Yeah, it's knowing your numbers, right? Knowing what you're looking at, knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I love that you guys have a strict criteria, right? You guys know exactly what you want, you know exactly what, and it makes it good for so many ways, right? One, you get that criteria down, so like you said, you know the numbers, you know pretty quickly if it's a deal or not. But then also, you don't waste your time looking at other stuff that doesn't fit that, right? That's not going to further your investments, right? That's not going to help you, right?
Listen, I've had all the VAs. I've hired the people from across the seas. I've bought the lists. I've bought the 10,000, 20,000 list. I've paid $5,000 to get it skip traced and whatever, and it's like shooting a shot, trying to kill an elephant with a shotgun. It's not going to work because it's just too scattered. We have a guy that my wife just came back with from one of his classes. His name's Chris Kelly. It's essentially that. It's just you get your niche, figure it out, and then just target it and just relentlessly market to it. Relentlessly go after that stuff. So, I mean, it's worked. I mean, but more importantly, tell people what you're doing. Tell people exactly what you're looking for. It's crazy what will happen.
Yeah, it is, right? And if you don't tell, nobody knows. There's no point being a secret investor, right? Otherwise, how's everyone going to bring you a deal? Yeah, that's cool. And that's awesome stuff about the real estate, by the way. I love everything that you're doing, man. It's really cool. And I love your goals as well, right? And it's just really cool, man. And I really love, it's always inspiring to see people doing creative stuff, because once you learn about creative stuff and learn how to do it, you're unlimited, right? Let me use that word instead. You're unlimited to what you can do, right? Capital is not the limited amount of deals you can do, right? Because there is no limit to that. So I love that. I think that's so cool.
It's all about, I mean, it's how I approach my life. It's with creativity. You just think about it. I mean, just take the lid off and anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Yeah, very cool. So we talked before off air as well. You talked about Amazon store, right? You opened Amazon.
Yes, yeah. So I got a wild hair in March. I was talking to a buddy of mine in Ohio, and he just kind of was like, "Hey, you should look into it. Just look into it." And I talked to the company. I talked to the CEO. I was like, this is no, this isn't real. Like the 20%, what? No. And so once again, we are extremely conservative. We do not mess around. We don't play around. We don't just throw money at things. No crazy lifestyle. I got the CEO on the company, and he goes, "Listen, I'll pay you back your money in 6 months if you don't make it back." I go, "So if I don't make my initial return back, you're going to pay me back in 6 months?" He says, "Absolutely." I go, "That's going to be in the contract?" And he goes, "Yep." I go, "Let's go." So yeah, I've got UK. You can see the smile on my face because I can't even believe that I have it. It's crazy because I got a store in the UK. I got a store in Canada. I got a store in the United States. I only made $22 today, by the way, in the United States, which is not really that good. But so I got it all through the UK, and I got a store in, like I said, Canada, the United States. It was a pretty hefty investment, but they run it soup to nuts. It's completely hands off. All I do is I pay the inventory. Every 2 weeks they send me an inventory. What I've sold, I pay that, and then 2 weeks later Amazon pays me back.
Wow.
And it's been pretty flawless since.
Well, what kind of return do you think you're getting on that?
It's creeping up to about 30%.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're looking at, $25,000 to $30,000 months. Wow. $40,000. You know what I mean? And it's only growing from there. I mean, it's going to scale. Hopefully, it will scale. We'll get a 50,000 a month. And be able to get maybe an extra passive $15,000 out of that.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah, no, but I don't know if it's a long-term play.
Yeah.
I mean, I've made my money back, and it's now we're playing with house money, as you would say.
Yeah.
So, but do I think something's going to happen to Amazon 5 years down the road? Dude, that thing's a beast. I don't know.
Yeah.
But with the way the world's going, it's hard to say. But right now, It's one of the best investments out there. I mean, I got out of the stock market to get in this thing. So
yeah, that's interesting, because ultimately, like, even though this is a real estate show, it's a financial freedom show. I see it as, like, you know, creating that life for yourself. So for what real estate is a vehicle, we love real estate, or I do anyway. I think it's awesome. But if there's other avenues as well that people can take, I think it's cool.
Yeah, listen. If anybody wants to know about it, I mean, I'm happy to talk about it. I don't sell it. I don't have anything stake in the company. I can definitely point you in the right direction. It's definitely, all I got to say about it is it's there's a lot of BS that goes on out there right now about it, because everybody says they can open you an Amazon store. Everybody's promising you these returns, and you're getting crap sent from China that is not, it'll destroy your store. Amazon will shut your store down because your feedback, your ratings, your return rate, like it. So yes, I'm sitting here with a huge smile on my face because it's working out for me, but there's a lot of shady companies out there that are willing to take your money and open up an Amazon store for you, and it won't produce. So just a little asterisk there on the end there. I won't do that. Yeah, I won't do that with real estate, because I think real estate's pretty solid. You know, like but this one, just buyer beware, because I mean, you're on Instagram. I mean, everybody now is pumping an Amazon store. Yeah. Everybody's got a guy that can open you up an Amazon store. So yeah. Just be careful.
Cool. Well, really interesting story, man. You got a cool story. Like, it's like so much that's happened, man. It's like crazy, you know, but awesome. And at the same time, it's a way, not awesome the pain that you went through, but awesome how you recovered and how you're really doing it now, and how you figured it out as well, right? Like, you figured out what you needed to do to make it work for you, right? And it might be different for someone else, but you figured out what it was for you. And I think that's awesome. But as this show is called Wrestling with Real Estate, I thought you need to ask some wrestling related real estate questions. So the first one is, what would your wrestling name be? If you picked a wrestling name for yourself, what would it be?
So back in my day, people used to call Thanos. Are you familiar with Thanos?
Yeah. From what's that game? Gods of War or something? Yeah,
one of those Marvel movies. So I would probably go with some Thanos themed wrestler. They gave me one of those little pop, little cartoon characters and put it on my desk.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Thanos.
Okay, Thanos. Okay. It's all good. That works. So every wrestler has a special move, right? It's their biggest strength. What is your special move in real estate?
Wow. I'm a people person. I'm an open book. Cultivating relationships is something that I really enjoy. Talking to people, listening to people. So cultivating relationships, I would say, I guess.
Yeah, that's a big one. Like, because it seems like, you know, that's been a huge part of your success, right? Cultivating these relationships and building and getting deals, right? And you don't just get deals by just asking for them. It helps, but you've got to build those relationships and have people want to give you deals as well, right? So I think that's huge.
Yes,
What's been the biggest body slam you've taken?
Well,
outside of the 08, 09.
Besides the bankruptcy?
Yeah. Happen with on a deal or something.
Listen, there's probably been a little theme here. I lose out on a lot of deals because I'm not the aggressive guy. I'm not the big, I'm going to come in guns a-blazing guy. So I know for a fact there's a 10 unit down on the other side of town over here that I could have swooped up for $300,000, and it's probably worth $8 now.
Wow. Yeah.
Easily. But I just wasn't aggressive enough. I wasn't going to play the game. He was the highest and best. Come see me. And this, okay. Great deal, you know, but I'm not getting in a room full of guys and we're not going to have, you know, that's just not my style. But yeah, it was probably that. I mean, that's the most recent one that comes to mind. It was middle of 2009. 19, and it was just, I just wasn't going to do the dog and pony show.
So was there a moment that you were standing on the top rope getting ready to jump, but you were too scared? What was it and how did you overcome it?
I would have to say getting back in the real estate game. after the bankruptcy. And I mean, like, I don't say this lightly. When I say I didn't have any money, like, I borrowed money to move to Orlando. I had we had nothing. We were absolutely broke. We gave the house, we gave everything. We just kind of threw our hands up. We didn't know where to turn. So when I came back to Orlando and was able to build up, you know, through a job and kind of tripling my salary through that avenue, it was spending that money to get, I mean, like, just, I know this is going to sound crazy, but just spending the money on the appraisal, the $3,000 on the appraisal for the, you know what I mean? And then the inspection fee, like, you're shelling out, like, you just worked 3 years to make all this money back. And here you go, you're about to spend it again. And so I think that was, but I did it anyway. You know, you just got to do it. So.
Yeah, awesome. Man, it's a cool story. It's been fun talking to you. Like, really appreciate you sharing everything and your honesty as well, right? It's like,
yes.
I really appreciate that, man. But before I go, if people want to reach out to you, or if they want to hear more about what you guys have got going on, how can they do that?
Absolutely. So Instagram, which I'm horrible at, so hit me up at it. It's Dietrich G. Covington on Instagram. Same as Facebook. LinkedIn is my jam. I don't know why I picked LinkedIn. So find me on Dietrich Covington at LinkedIn. And also shoot me an email at FPI houses at gmail.com. It stands for Focal Point Investments. It's the company that owns everything that I do down here in Orlando. So
cool.
It's a good way to get a hold of me.
Okay. Awesome, man. I'm jealous. I used to live in Tampa, so I'm jealous of the weather, you guys. It's not bad here, but right. Like, this time of year is the best time in Florida, I think. Right?
It's fantastic. No, it was 70 degrees out there today.
Yeah, perfect. No humidity either, right?
No, not today.
Yeah, perfect.
Catch me in July, it will be.
I'd rather be in 115 than the humidity, and at that point, the humidity kills me, man. But awesome, man. Thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun. I appreciate you taking the time, and have an awesome rest of your day.
Hey, you do the same, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you.